Welcome everybody to Careers Insight, episode 2. Today we are going to look into the field of finance. And so the purpose of these interviews that we are doing here is to give you insight or a deeper look into the different career fields that are all around us in Montana, across the globe. So just to keep in mind, this if you have any questions, if you really like what's being said throughout this interview, make sure that you like it or comment with anything that you have in mind. So today, like I said, we're interviewing Grace McKoy, who works in the finance career field. So Grace is a CPA, it's a certified public accountant, and she's also a CVA, which is a Certified Valuation Analyst. Grace has been she works as a shareholder with Anderson Zermulin in Missoula, Montana, and has worked there for 8 years. And she graduated with, has a Master of Accountancy and a Bachelor's of Science in Accounting from the University of Montana. Welcome, Grace. So we have a few a few questions for you, just to dig deeper into what you do and whatever the field of finance has to offer. So what does your typical day look like?
That's a really great question, and in general, there is no typical day in the field of accounting for me. Every day, I primarily, for the first kind of 6-7 years of my career, I primarily worked in our assurance department, primarily performing audits. So every week, myself and my audit team would jump in our car and typically spend a week at a client's office. So this might be a not-for-profit organization, this might be a government entity, this might be a privately held company. What we're doing and where we're working kind of varies every single week and every single day. Now, within the last couple of years, I've also started doing some work for our valuation and litigation support team. So as well as serving our audit and other ad-tech clients, I now work with attorneys and other professionals to assist in legal matters, as well as assisting companies valuing their shares. So, gosh, there's no typical day, just out meeting with clients, working with clients, attending trainings to make sure that we're staying up on kind of all the changes in the industry. But there's no 2 days that are the same for me. Get up and go.
Nice. I think that even from our previous interview, it definitely sounds like there's not always just those typical days of work that we have. So that's, and I think that's definitely nice to hear, that we can always have a variety of tasks to do, that you're not always doing the same thing over and over and over again, but that you get to do some different things here and there. That's good. That's always good to hear. So Grace, what made you choose this career?
Another really great and interesting question. I attended the University of Montana and had the opportunity to play soccer there for the Lady Grizz. Going into the University of Montana, I initially thought I wanted to be a journalism teacher, but wasn't able to write for the time and given my limitations with the soccer program. So started exploring some other opportunities and just decided to take a general look at business, and found myself in a number of accounting classes, and then quickly found myself tutoring half the soccer team, half the football team, half the basketball team. We did like athlete study tables in the bottom of the library, and at night found myself giving step-by-step instructions to, big groups of athletes, and I loved it. I thought it was so fun. I loved explaining accounting to people, and they seemed to kind of understand it a little bit better when I explained it. So I figured, wow, this is something that's not really easy for everyone, and it definitely isn't fun for everyone. So if this is something I enjoy, I should jump right in.
Wow, that's awesome. So you're saying that before this, when you were in high school, you didn't necessarily, this wasn't necessarily the field that you were looking at?
No, not at all. I'm not sure that if you asked me in high school, I could tell you what a CPA does. I definitely didn't know what a Certified Valuation Analyst does. Had really no aspirations to be an accountant, but it was just something that I kind of fell into and really loved and enjoyed from day one.
Yeah, you just found that passion and enjoyment out of it. That's great. And I think that's really, what we want, and encourage our students to really find and look into is finding that passion, finding that something that they just can cling to, that they enjoy. So it's really great to be able to hear that that's something that you found in this field. I guess with that, with the enjoyment and piece of everything, and finding that passion, what would you say is like the best part of this job?
The very, very, very best part about being a CPA is the look on your client or even your best friend's face when you explain an accounting issue to them and they finally understand it. I have friends or clients who maybe they heard something on the news or they had someone in their office try to explain it to them, but they just still couldn't quite understand it. And my favorite thing is the look on someone's face when, aha, I get it, I understand what you're saying, and this information is valuable. I love providing value, whether it be to my friends, our clients, or just the community in general.
Yeah, that's great. And so when you say, you're working with clients, and is there a like specific population or people that you work with, or is it kind of just a wide range of individuals?
So I serve as our firm's insurance specialty team director. So a large portion of my clientele base is insurance companies that are domiciled primarily in Montana, but a number of other companies that are domiciled in other states across the country. I also work with a number of not-for-profits, primarily in Missoula, but a few not-for-profits outside of Missoula and up into the Flathead area as well. And then the clients that I work with closely that are kind of private companies that don't kind of fall under those classifications of being a not-for-profit or an insurance company really run a wide gamut. We work with restaurants, we work with construction companies, we work with engineering firms, we work with bakeries, really, you name the industry, I bet I have some experience in it, if not myself, someone in our firm. And so we work with this huge, wide variety of different industries. Kind of the last kind of work that I do primarily is government. And so whether that be government risk pools, whether that be airports, cities, counties, component units of cities and counties, we kind of do that work as well. And so really our clients range from, very small privately held businesses all the way up to very, very large government.
Wow. So there's lots of people, lots of companies, lots of organizations that you work with, and being able to help them understand, help them, and to kind of see that look in their eyes just gives you that that enjoyment. It's just maybe maybe I'm not saying it right, but it once again fuels that passion that you have when you found this field.
Absolutely. A lot of folks think accounting is boring and painful. My goal is to make accounting fun and enjoyable. As little pain involved as possible is my goal, and really, really enjoy that when I'm able to make that happen for my clients.
Excellent. Yeah, and that's really great. So I guess on the flip side, what would you say is the hardest part of this job?
I would say the hardest part about a job as a CPA or a CVA is really just keeping up on all of the changes in the world, and also just the changes in our standards. So, being involved with so many different clients and so many different industries, it's important to stay up on the changes with those clients and those industries. I'm constantly reading the newspaper, I'm constantly reading trade publications. I'm trying to make sure that I know what's going on with my clients and what's going on in their industry and what's going on in the world in general, so that I can think about how that might impact them. Also, our professional standards are always changing. The guidance that we follow for our companies that report under generally accepted accounting principles is always changing. So just staying up on all those changes in standards, keeping up with all of your clients, keeping up with the industry. Sometimes that can be a bit overwhelming, especially if you do practice a wide variety of areas.
Yeah, so you just have to keep learning and just always keep an eye out for anything that's changing, anything that might be different, or that you can't just always go with what you know. You have to make sure that it's the right procedure, something like that.
Yes, you definitely want to be a lifelong learner. If you think you might want to be a CPA, it's something that it's a little bit painful and sometimes time consuming, but I love learning. So it's definitely something that you want to be kind of a lifelong learner to do.
Yes.
Because you're always going to pick up on all of the changes.
Yes, and I love that. I think everybody should be a lifelong learner, no matter what the field that you are in. But yeah, if you are interested in being a CPA, be a lifelong learner. and I guess with that advice that you just gave, do you have any other advice for students that are looking into this career field?
The biggest piece of advice I would have for a student looking to go into this career field, or really any career field, is just give it a try. Take a couple courses, or do an internship, or see if you can do a job shadow in the industry that you're interested in. And I can tell you from at least my experience that once you get in there, you're going to know right away whether you're looking forward to going to that accounting class every day and you're enjoying learning that information every day, or if it's uninteresting to you and you think there might be a better fit. I think my best advice is just jump head into whatever career might be of interest to you and give it a go, and you'll know when you start feeling that passion or that fire, as you said, that this is something that you maybe want to pursue further.
Yeah, I think that's great advice, and you don't have to wait until you get to college to do that, or you can do that anytime. right? You can, I mean, I could do that right now. I could try out an accounting class, even right now. You can do it in high school, wherever you're at in life. You can check it out. That's great advice.
Yep. You can do it at any point in your life. There's always opportunities. A lot of the local learning centers have different courses on financial management or accounting, and I know a lot of the high schools have certain programs, also certain clubs where you can kind of take on those accounting responsibilities, such as DECA or Key Club, or even your student body, government. All of those, need accounting professionals. So if you find yourself looking, wanted to give it a try, just jump in, see if you can kind of take the reins over the financial management for your Key Club, for your DECA, for your dad's business. Maybe, host a garage sale and keep the accounting behind it. Again, these are all just small ways that you can kind of test and see if it's something that you're interested in.
Yeah. And if anybody watching, I know that we have a couple of viewers on right now. Please comment with any questions that you have. I know, Grace, that you were talking about really all these different things that students, anybody could try out. Is there, I mean, in terms of job like growth, or do you see accounting being around for quite a while?
Well, I left that out of my first response, but that was the other big reason that I decided to go with a career in accounting. Not only did I have a lot of fun and it seemed to come easy to me, I heard that you could always get a job anywhere with accounting, a good paying job. And so I thought, well, I know I want to be able to get a job right out of college. When I was in school, we were in a recession, and a lot of folks are really worried about job opportunities after college, and it proved to be true. Was able to get a job very quickly, and have had a great career with Anderson Vermeulen. During that time with Anderson Vermeulen, have had a number of clients or contacts, try to hire me. It's just a field where we're always going to need professionals. In the good times and in the bad times, folks need to know how to account for their business transactions, and we'll have to file tax returns in the good times and the bad times. We'll have to meet their audit requirements in the good times and bad times. So while we are affected by the economy, we're a little bit more than recession-proof than some other careers.
Yeah, and that's really good to know. In terms of anybody looking at this career, that there's that possibility of going anywhere, but that it's it's going to be around. You're going to be able to get a job. So we do have one question here from a viewer. Let's check this out from Jeannie Aribo. Is there a difference between being a CPA in the private sector versus state/federal sector?
This is a really great question. So as a CPA, there is a wide range of opportunities. Practicing in the private sector, so just working in-house as a controller or a CFO for a company, your responsibilities will vary depending on the type of organization. So you might be keeping full accrual GAAP financial statements, or you might just be accounting for transactions on a cash basis. That'll kind of depend on what type of business you're working for. Working as a federal, in the state and federal sector, so for example, if you were working for the city of Missoula, you would be doing your accounting in accordance with government accounting standards. So we call them GASBs. So you'd be following a different set of standards. And then also, from there you could also be a a state auditor. So you could audit actual other local governments. And that is a whole other realm of a job you can get. So oh my gosh, there's just so many different ways that you could utilize a CPA. And there's so many ways that I don't utilize mine. For example, my family every single year around April 15th asks me to prepare their tax returns, and I explain to them year after year. I don't even prepare my own taxes. I don't know how to do that. So there's just a very wide variety of CPAs in the industry and in the industry that they can practice in. You could definitely practice in the private sector. You could practice in the state and local government. And what you do for those companies can vary widely as well. Great question.
I think that brings up a really good point. I think a lot of times I can think, and I imagine a lot of people can think too, that it's like, oh, CPA, you deal with people's taxes or something like that, So I think it's really great to know that it's not just that. There's so many other things to do with a CPA. Well, not seeing any more comments or questions, we'll bring this to an end, but please feel free to, if you're watching this recording later on after this live event, feel free to leave any questions or comments, and we'll make sure to get them answered either by Grace, or we'll find some answers for you regarding the field of finance. So thank you, Grace, for joining us today, and we look forward to just wish you the best of luck, and especially moving forward. So
thank you, Derek.
Yeah, thank you, everybody.
Oh.
All right.